Do you have the cravings for sweets? In today's video, I'm going to be going over the primary causes for your sugar cravings, as well as 4 different things that you can start doing today so that you can address them and ease the cravings. So stay tuned. Hey, what's going on? Newton Kwong here, helping you with long-term strategies on how to eat better and live healthier. All of the information in this video today is for educational purposes only, so if you're seeking medical advice, then please consult your healthcare professional. All right, so let's go into some of the causes for our cravings of sweets. Now, drastic swings in our blood sugar levels or imbalances in our blood sugar is going to cause unnecessary sugar cravings. Now, how do these swings in our blood sugar happen? It happens due to the way that we nourish our bodies, due to our eating schedules, the type of nutrients that we have within our diet. Our physical activity levels also plays in a role in how we regulate our blood sugar. So the first step that you would want to take in order to have a more regular level amount of blood sugar is to look out for your nutrition, is to get in the right stuff into your body. I'm going to tell you how to do that in more detail in the tips that are going to be coming up later in this video. The next primary cause to our sugar cravings is our habit of eating sugar. Sugar is highly addictive. The more that we eat on a consistent basis, the more that we're going to crave it. It's just as simple as that. So what we want to do in that case is to slowly phase the sugar out of our diet and make it more of a habit to eat more nutrient-dense foods. So those are 2 primary causes that I've highlighted, which basically comes down to improper nourishment within our diet that's causing these cravings. Now, let's get into the 4 different tips on how you can start easing your sugar cravings today. Tip number 1 is to eat more whole, minimally processed foods. Now, we want to eat stuff that's going to be higher in protein as well as higher in fiber. So you want to focus on high quality sources of protein, whole cuts of beef, chicken, fresh fish, eggs. We want to stock up on the protein and also stock up on fresh vegetables as well. We want to increase the amount of nutrients that we're getting in our diet as opposed to empty calories from sugar alone. And when you're considering carbohydrates in your diet, then consider complex carbohydrate sources such as oats, sweet potatoes, brown rice, things that contain more fiber, which is going to digest slower, helping you regulate those blood sugar levels as we discussed earlier. In conjunction with that tip, you also want to limit the amount of highly processed foods that you have in your diet as well, as those types of foods are going to be the most likely to contain high amounts of sugar. The second tip that I want you to follow is to determine an appropriate eating schedule for you. It's important to establish meal times so that you can ensure that you have structure and consistency in nourishing your body. Quite often, the reason why we have cravings in the first place is because we're not eating enough. We might get into phases where we forget to eat some meals, and then we have all of this built up hunger that we don't even notice, that all comes crashing down into a binge that ultimately results in excess sugar consumption. Now, how this meal timing is going to look for you is going to be different from person to person. Some people need to have food throughout the day, while other people, they don't necessarily need to have that, and they can do something such as intermittent fasting, which actually helps them to stave off some cravings. It really depends on what your body can handle. The bottom line is that you want to ensure that you're nourishing your body consistently. If you're getting value out of this video, then please consider liking this video, subscribing to my channel for more helpful tips like this. And in the comments down below, tell me, what is your favorite sweet? What is your favorite sweet? And is it that thing that you're trying to curb your cravings for? The third tip that I have for you is get more sleep. If we're going through our day sleep deprived, the more susceptible we are to cravings. We're also more irritable, more easily stressed out, which is going to lead to us going to food as a coping mechanism. When we're well rested, we have better decision making throughout the day. We also have better memories of what our long-term goals are instead of trying to survive through the day. Better sleep equals better cognition, equals better self-restraint, more focus on long-term goals, less susceptibility to caving in to our cravings, and less tempted to eat the foods that we know we shouldn't be eating too much of. Let's say that you're getting between 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night, then it'll be ideal to increase that by about 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, and slowly increase the amount of time that you sleep to a point that is going to be most reasonable for you. The fourth tip that I have for you is to be mindful of your day-to-day habits. There are many causes that can trigger cravings for sugar. It could be the mood and emotions that we feel. It could be the amount of stress that we're undertaking in our tasks. It could also be environmental factors, the food that surrounds us that can trigger these cravings as well. So we want to make sure that the events that are leading up to our sugar binges, we're aware of them and we're trying to make changes to those things that trigger us. I've created a whole separate video that goes more into detail about how we can do this, how we can break bad habits, which includes a specific exercise that you can do that can help you identify the root cause of your sugar cravings. I've attached that video up above. And here is a bonus tip for you. Know that sugar is not your enemy. Having sugar in moderation is totally okay. The goal is not to completely eliminate sugar. There's nothing inherently bad about sugar. In fact, your body breaks down the foods that we eat into sugar so that it can use it, right? That's why we have something called blood sugar. So sugar in itself is not bad. It's an excess of sugar that can cause complications to our health. So if you're able to modify your sugar, then be proud of being able to do that. The real goal is to ease your sugar consumption, ease your sugar cravings, not stop them altogether. Something huge that you can do is to get more physical activity in. The more that you exercise, the more that you're training your body to use the resources that you give to it. Someone who exercises more has a body that can regulate blood sugar better versus someone who does not regularly exercise. So if you would like to have more leeway in the types of foods that you eat, if you want to have more leeway in the amount of sugar that you get to enjoy, then get on a proper exercise routine. There is one thing that I want to caution you on, and that is to be so picky as to the food that you eat, to completely eliminate the sugar in your diet, that avoiding sugar becomes a life stressor in itself. We don't want that to happen. What we want to do to get healthier is to remove the unnecessary stressors in our life. And adding this sort of pickiness, adding this type of extreme avoidance for a particular component of food is, it's in the long run, it's not healthy. All right, so I want to know which tip was most helpful for you and which tip you're going to implement starting today. Leave it in the comments down below, and I'm going to catch you in the next video. Peace.